We begin with the Reds, fresh off taking 3 of 4 from the Pittsburgh Pirates, finishing up their road trip in Atlanta. Braves 14-7, leading the East, getting some solid pitching performances, especially from tonight's starter, Ervin Santana. Well, Atlanta jumped out to a 5-0 lead. Cincinnati came back with 4 late, but it wasn't enough. They put the first 2 on in the 9th, and then Joey Votto grounds out on a controversial call that Brian Price eventually said they got right to end the game. They lost Devin Mesoraco to a pulled hamstring, and they lost Todd Frazier to a groin pull. We'll see the status on that coming up on Saturday. Bailey with another loss. And we may have some issues with health. 5-4 your final. Matchup. Pitt and Mike Leake, 2-1 on the year against David Hale. A bit of bad luck for him so far this year. 3 starts, giving up a total of 5 runs. No wins to show for it. Game time just after 7 at the TED. You know what they say, any Pete Rose news is news around here. Something like that in an interview today with the Associated Press sports editors. Major League Baseball Commissioner Bud Selig fielded a question about Pete, if he'd be inclined to reinstate the hit king before he steps down in May of next year. Quote, "The only thing I'd say about that is that it's a matter under review." Well, an old sport is becoming a new fad here in the tri-state, and even though it doesn't receive the same notoriety as much of the major sports, there can be a major payoff for those who play it well. Mike Berk has more from the Moeller campus.
RJ, go! For all of the school's greatness and championships in mainstream sports, Moeller has a pretty good rugby team too. And your likely reaction to that mirrors the kind these kids see on a regular basis.
They're like, rugby? What? I didn't even know that was a sport around here.
It is, and it's becoming a lot more popular and accessible than you'd think. Just this Wednesday on the Moeller campus, Dean Meyer, Jack's big brother and a newcomer to the sport, signed his letter of intent to join Wheeling Jesuit of West Virginia.
After only 1 year, he's going to play rugby in college.
Teammate R.J. Bradley is headed to Furman in the fall, also on a rugby scholarship. He took to the sport while seeking an off-season football alternative.
Contact sport, I just really liked it, and I came out freshman year and fell in love with it.
But his mother didn't love it at first. Didn't love the idea of her son playing what amounts to football without padding. But many believe it's actually safer, because without the comfort level a helmet and pads can provide, rugby forces its players to play with caution, to play with proper technique. That's where Coach Doug Rossfeld comes in.
There are safety precautions that are put into the sport that really promote safety. There are some bumps and bruises just because you're not wearing a helmet, but we see way less catastrophic injuries.
I'm more aware of how I need to use my body and not injure it.
But not everyone in Cincinnati is sold on this sport. It's not sanctioned by the Ohio High School Athletic Association, so the Crusaders have to travel to find matches. Finding the game, however, is much easier.
Guys just kind of jump in and they learn on the fly. And it's another one of these things that is an appeal of rugby. It's why it's going to be an Olympic sport in 2016.
And here's something that won't surprise you about rugby. In just 6 years of operation, Moeller is already fielding a great team.
We've been to the state championship, I think, last 4 years, winning it one at a time, so we'll be back there this year, hopefully, and win it this time.
At Moeller High School, and fortunate not to be in the middle of that scrum, Mike Berk, Local 12 Sports.
Well, if you've been watching the NHL playoffs this season, you know that big leads are hard to hold on to, and normally the home team holds serve. Cyclones have bucked that trend, at least half of it, winning the big road games against Orlando, and then a win on Wednesday at US Bank sets them up to close things out tonight at home. Second period, no score. Jonathan Hazen has a wonderful series, but a sequence here he'd like to forget. Several chances on the Orlando doorstep, each of them turned away by the Solar Bears. Still scoreless, third period, Bears on the attack. Scott Tansky, he's in the right place to fire this one home. Scores the game's first goal, 1-0 Bears, 2 minutes into the third. Later in the third, chance for the Clones to tie it up. But Zach Buddish is stoned at the doorstep by Maxime Claremont. Solar Bears fight off elimination, 2-0 Game 4 win. Game 5 at the Bank tomorrow night. Coach Cal doesn't like the one-and-done rule. You've heard that a million times. Would like to have the rule changed. As it stands, he prefers to call it succeed and proceed. Kentucky did the former this year, but a lot of Cal's players didn't consider runner-up succeeding and therefore will not proceed. Cats are coming back in droves. Add the Twins to the list. Andrew and Aaron Harrison opting to return to Lexington for their sophomore seasons. Add the Harrisons to Dakari Johnson, Alex Poitras, Willie Cauley-Stein, and Marcus Lee. That's 6, plus 3 more McDonald All-Americans coming in. For the Hoosiers, some offseason hoop issues. Rising junior point guard Yogi Ferrell and soon-to-be sophomore Stanford Robinson arrested early Friday morning in Bloomington, initially charged with minor consumption of an alcoholic beverage and possession of false identification. Ferrell and Robinson both apologized through a university statement today.